Okay, I have to make my phones on so that way we easy. Okay, it's on. Hey guys, Jenny Curry here, and welcome back to another video. So I noticed that I've been around doing YouTube videos much lately, so I noticed I had to do videos. My parents have to tell me and my sister that to do game time on the weekends and stuff. So I'm gonna be doing a top 10 for you guys of Harry Potter. So this one's gonna be called the top 10 saddest Harry Potter deaths. So get your tissues at the ready because some deaths might be an absolute tearjerker for you guys. Okay, first up at number 10 is Lily and James Potter. The reason I ranked this low is because this death is really quick, and this kind of really does affect me a little bit, but doesn't actually. So, we see James and Lily met their untimely end in Godric's Hollow at October 1981 at October 31 and 1981, which is on Halloween, because one night Lord Voldemort was there and he was about to kill the Potters in their house, and James heard Voldemort came bursting in, and he tells Lily to take the time to run for her life and take Harry. So, however, he forgot his wand and stuff, so he was the first one to be killed. Also, for Lily, she sacrificed her love for Harry for the protection of parental love, so that way Harry would be able to stay alive. Although Voldemort tried to cast the killing curse on Harry, but it rebounded and gave him a lightning bolt scar, which made him a Horcrux. Okay, next up at number 9 is Remus, Lupin, and Nymphadora Tonks. I was gonna rate Lupin a 9 for this one, but I was gonna rate him a 9 with Tonks as well, but when I saw the death of Lupin, I was like, why Lupin? He's the best defense against the dark arts teacher. Yeah, this kind of realized that Lupin was a really grateful teacher in the Harry Potter series. And although we noticed that Lupin was a werewolf, to be honest, and Lupin really is a grateful friend to Sirius and James and stuff. And for Tonks, though, she was an Auror, I don't know, a Ministry Auror, I don't know. She declared her love for Lupin in the Half-Blood Prince book, although Lupin seems like he doesn't feel like he want to be with her, so. However, the two did got married and have their baby Teddy, but although we do see that the two were working together, and in the movies there was just one scene of them hugging for a reason, so kind of noticed that, so. Although there is, noticed also, when they were in the Battle of Hogwarts, they were murdered, so Tonks was murdered by her aunt Bellatrix Lestrange, and Lupin by Dolohov. Their sentence confirming their death reads, Harry had a clear view of the bodies lying next to Fred, Remus, and Tonks, pale and still and peaceful looking, apparently asleep beneath the dark enchanted ceiling. Yeah, this really gets me, but you know what I mean. Next up at number 8 is Aragog. I gotta say though, Aragog's death is emotional, but I kind of ranked this an 8 because my sister noticed that she does like Aragog, but she doesn't like any other spiders. However, the first time we see Aragog is in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. To be fair, though, we notice that Harry tells Aragog of what is happening to their school at Hogwarts. So they talk about the monster, which is the basilisk, and the girl who died in a bathroom known as Mourning Myrtle that is causing so much trouble and stuff like that. So luckily, Harry was able to go into the Chamber of Secrets and kill the basilisk and stuff like that. However, we find out that Aragog is a faithful friend to Hagrid as well. And also, we see Aragog's death and funeral in the Half-Blood Prince, because Harry used Felix Felicis in the movie, so he and Slughorn went to visit Hagrid when Hagrid was sobbing over Aragog's dead body with Fang. So the three prayed for Aragog's life and stuff like that. So they honored him with the prayer. Okay, next up at number 7, we have Cedric Diggory. Kill the Spare. Yeah. Cedric's death is really the harshest. I gotta say, the first time we see Cedric is actually in the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban book, where we see Cedric as a Quidditch captain and seeker. And also, we noticed that Cedric caught the snitch and won the match for Hufflepuff after Harry got targeted by several Dementors. And in the Goblet of Fire book and movie, we see Cedric there. And Cedric was with Harry for the third task and was killed by Peter Pettigrew, aka Wormtail, at the end of the Triwizard Tournament. And Harry brought Cedric's body back to the school, and everybody watched his death and stuff. This death was devastating, especially for his father, Amos Diggory, and Cho Chang. Like, that one thing where Amos was crying over Cedric's dead body, it was really emotional. Okay, next up at number 6, we have Dobby. Like, why Dobby, though? He's a friendly house elf. Although Dobby really is a friendly house elf, to be honest. And he's always thinking that he always wanted to save Harry Potter all the times. Like, in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry sets Dobby free from his cruel masters, the Malfoys. And he tells him that he would never try to risk his life again to save him. Although we do see Dobby in some books, like the Goblet of Fire book, where he gives Harry the gillyweed, or the Phoenix book, where Dobby tells Harry that he found the Room of Requirement and stuff like that. Although he really did save Harry Potter again and his fellow prisoners from Malfoy Manor. But as they escape, Bellatrix Lestrange throws a knife which stabs Dobby in the chest. He dies in Harry's arms, and his last words were to the Malfoy Manor saying, "Dobby has no master. Dobby is a free elf." However, when his last words were actually with Harry's is, "Such a beautiful night to be with friends. Dobby is happy to be with his friend Harry Potter." Yeah, get this, guys. One of my old teachers at Roth, Miss Parmenter, told me that when she saw that death, she cried and cried and cried and cried. I was going to rate Dobby a 2 or 1, like with Lupin and Tonks, but you get my points. But number 5, we have Hedwig. This is a really devastating one. Oops. Nope. Don't need to see that. Don't need to see that. Ugh, why am I... Okay, there we go. Hedwig is always by Harry's side, even though he does spend horrible summers at the Dursleys and stuff like that. So, the first time we do see Hedwig is in the Sorcerer's Stone, or also known as Philosopher's Stone, but if you're in America, it's Sorcerer's Stone. However, Harry, we always see Hedwig in so many books and movies and so on and so forth. But we see her untimely end in the Battle of the Seven Potters. Because Order the Phoenix used Polyjuice. Harry's friends used Polyjuice Potion to disguise himself as Harry so Death Eaters won't find out if it's the real one. And Harry was with Hedwig as they left the Dursleys. But while she was in her cage, she was struck with a killing curse, presumably intended for Harry. Her death described as follows: a burst of green light. The owl screeched and fell to the floor of the cage. Harry screamed, "No! Hedwig! Hedwig!" That screeching noise really does affect Harry. Like, his eyes was watering. Like, it's just an owl, though. Let her fly free. Yeah, this kind of really affects me as well, but it's just really sad. But more sadder, though, at number 4, we have Fred Weasley. Although there is a quote for this one. Fred's eyes stared without seeing. The ghost of his last laugh still etched upon his face. Like, I can't right now. Fred is so annoying to me. I mean, to be fair, Fred is a little obnoxious. Even George as well. But, yeah, they annoy me. I'm pretty sure the Phillips brother who voiced as Fred and George are great ones, but Fred and George annoy me. In the film, they annoy me. In the books, they do not. I really do like Fred and George's character in the books, but I just find it different in the films, though. Fred is the twin brother of George Weasley and brother to Bill, Percy, Ron, and Ginny. He is a great friend to Harry, and he is a jovial wizard, I'm not gonna lie, but I really do, for one, never saw this death coming. In The Half-Blood Prince, though, Fred and George set up Weasley's Wizard Wheezes before they graduated Hogwarts, which is a very successful shop in Diagon Alley. We do see Fred and George in the Battle of Seven in Order of the Phoenix, and we're in the Battle of Seven Potters, because George lost an ear, which was by Severus Snape, to be honest. We see Fred and George in the Battle of Hogwarts together, where they were joined by Percy Weasley, and Fred said to Percy that he was joking, and he tried to finish it by saying, "You're actually joking, Percy. I don't think I've heard you joke since you were..." But he couldn't finish it because we see that Fred was killed by an explosion outside the room of requirement. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie though, even though Fred is annoying, his death really is emotional, to be honest. Okay, next up at number 3, we have Severus Snape. I will admit, Severus Snape might be a bad person, but he's still one of my favorite characters. Snape makes me laugh because all of his quotations and so on and so forth. Although, to be fair, Snape's history really is kind of different because, we see Snape had a love-hate relationship and stuff, so we see Severus met Lily Potter when he was 9 years old and he loved her, like, a lot. And when he met James Potter, Sirius Black, and so on and so forth, he hated James. And with Sirius, I think Severus hates Snape as well. Although, when Lily died, Snape wanted nothing, but he wanted to avenge her death. Yeah, Snape does not like James and Sirius and the others. And also, for Harry, though, Snape disliked Harry a lot in the series. Although, and when his death was there, we found out that Snape really was good, and that when Harry came to check on Snape and ask if he was okay, Snape was dying because he did care for Harry in the end. And we noticed that Snape tells Harry to give him his memories when he lays dying, because his death was delivered by Voldemort's snake Nagini, who bit him in the neck. That was really terrifying and scary. This death really does affect me, so I really gonna miss Snape a lot. And at number 2, we have Sirius Black. I was gonna rate Sirius a higher rank, but I'm just doing in the books and movies, though. Me and my father will never forget when Sirius fell through that veil. Although, to be honest, Sirius was part of the Marauders. Like how he was part of the Marauders with James Potter, who was Prongs, Lupin, who was Moony, and Peter as Wormtail. Sirius is also known as Padfoot. Although we see that Harry and the rest of Harry Potter and the wizarding world were absolutely terrified of Sirius Black, who was wrongly sent to Azkaban for the murder of 12 to 13 Muggles. Actually, though, the Muggles were actually killed by the traitor Peter Pettigrew. But no tears when he dies, though. Sirius was James Potter's best friend and a really great Gryffindor. Sirius had an awful childhood. I don't know if he did. In the Order of the Phoenix, he did have an awful childhood and so on. And he was being the cousin of the Dark Witch Bellatrix Lestrange. As Sirius finally got to be reunited with his godson Harry and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, he became as close a thing to a father that Harry had known. Yeah, these moments of Harry and Sirius were really happy and emotional. Although we see that Sirius died in the battle, was killed by Bellatrix in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, where he was struck with an unknown spell and was blown backwards through a veil in the Death Chamber. Unfortunately, as he fell backwards, he fell to his early demise. There is differences between Sirius's death. Yeah. In the book, though, he was struck with an unknown spell. In the movie, he was struck with a killing curse. Yeah. And before he was killed, though, the Order of the Phoenix came to rescue Harry and his fellow friend, the rest of Dumbledore's army. They even battled the Death Eaters, along with Dumbledore as well. But we never get to see Dumbledore in this, but we see Dumbledore dueling Voldemort, though. And Neville was there and stuff. And all of Dumbledore's army came to battle the Death Eaters. Even Sirius prepared for a duel battle with Bellatrix. As he was dodging her spells, he shouts to Bellatrix, "Come on, you could do better than that." Until the sentence reading Sirius's death is, Harry saw the look of mingled fear and surprise on his godfather's wasted, once handsome face as he fell backwards through the ancient doorway and disappeared behind the veil. When I read that sentence, I felt really, really bad for Sirius's death. But I did not cry, though. Although in the movie, however, when Sirius dies, we see Lupin holding against Harry because Lupin was trying so much to try not to cry. And there was this one thing that there was one that Harry was screaming and like wailing, but you can't actually hear him because of the music. And the reason why I question myself why Harry's scream was muted is because I looked it up on Google, and it told me that when Daniel Radcliffe as Harry, who was screaming in this, it made Helena Bonham Carter, aka the voice of Bellatrix, and Emma Watson actually cry. So they have to mute the scream. Although, I have to say, though, there was one death that physically made me and my father feel so bad and utter disbelief. And, of course, that is our number one, just really, really devastating death of Albus Dumbledore. Yeah, he was a great wizard of all time. Although I heard the quotes saying in the Deathly Hallows, "Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living, and above all those who live without love." Like, even in his death, though, he's so wise. However, in the past few years, Dumbledore noticed that he is slowly dying from a curse when he put on a Horcrux he destroyed. Although, to be fair, Dumbledore was a great, old, and noble wizard. And we find out that we see his untimely end at the end of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Although, we notice that Harry lost his father, his mother, and his godfather, and the relationship with Harry and Dumbledore really are great when it comes to his relationship with Sirius, however. Although, to be fair, Dumbledore really is a faithful wizard to Harry, and he was a great mentor to him. Because when Harry and Dumbledore were searching for the Horcrux, they knew that they had to tend to destroy it until Death Eaters enter the castle, which is also via the Room of Requirement. Also, Draco was intended to kill Dumbledore, but Snape does it instead in order to protect the boy. This is the most devastating death. Although, to be fair, though, we notice that Harry meets Dumbledore in some kind of dreamlike state, also known as King's Cross, if you see the book and movie, though, which is basically why Harry noticed that Voldemort thinks he killed Harry, but Harry was still alive in this. But Dumbledore is such a number one favorite character. So guys, do let me know which death do you think was the most sad in this one. So if you think that some character deaths might be affecting too, please let me know in the comments below. But I hope you enjoyed this video and stuff, so don't worry, I'm still gonna upload when I get the chance on the weekends, so have patience. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and comment below what your favorite character's saddest death is, and make sure to subscribe to my channel as always. So see you later, guys. Bye.